A very good evening to our viewers. Welcome to Elite TV and you're watching Open Debate in English. I'm your host Chongtham Amrita, bringing you this topic, the low-key election, for today's episode. This election season, there seems to be a lack of frenzy for tickets, with only a few hopefuls vying for candidacy, which is weird. Notably, the ruling BJP opted not to field a candidate in the outer parliamentary constituency, instead throwing their support behind the NPF. Similarly, in Meghalaya, Mizoram and Nagaland, the BJP also refrained from putting forward their own candidates. This has sparked speculation about whether the BJP has weakened its presence in these states, especially in connection with the violence and instability that's taking place in the state of Manipur. Will this issue be a challenge for the incumbent government, or will the people still put faith in it despite the year-long strife? To discuss on this matter, our panelists are present here today via online media. Our first panelist for tonight is Oja N.G. Shantikumar, Professor of English, Hungkou, Delin University from Taiwan. Welcome to Open Debate, Oja.
Good evening.
And our second panelist. Welcome, Oja. And our second panelist for tonight is Oja and Satyajeet, Bureau Chief, UNI. Welcome to Open Debate, Oja Satyajeet. I'll first start with Oja Shantikumar right away. My first question regarding this topic to you is, the ruling BJP faced much delays in announcing its candidate for the inner Manipur parliamentary constituency. And when it did, it surprised many when they finally revealed as Sri T.H. Shantikumar Singh as their candidate at the very last minute. What do you think could be the reason behind this delay, even after much speculation have been built up? And do you think that Oja Sri Shantikumar is a reluctant candidate regarding this sudden release of the names at the very last minute? Oja Shantikumar, your thoughts, please.
Okay, good evening once again. I think the main reason why the BJP central government couldn't announce the candidates from Manipur, I think one biggest reason might be they could see a big defeat in the hands of other parties, especially like opposition parties and their allied parties. And that could be one reason. And the other one is it's very difficult for them might be to choose who to choose from Manipur. You know, we were expecting different people, you know, different MLAs or people from the BJP party, but then suddenly T.H. Shantikumar, the education minister, was chosen as the MP candidate from Manipur. And before that, expectations were that the CM may be, you know, announced as the possible candidate. Then the BJP Manipur State President Sarda Devi, she was also one of the possible candidates. And then we have Dr. Ranjan, the President Minister in the central government, and also some other possible candidates were there. People were actually expecting, but by jumping out, by skipping all these expected candidates, finally the central government or central party chose T.H. Shantikumar, who is the education minister. I don't know if the education minister really likes to compete in this MP election. You know, this is it's a dangerous step actually, because concerning the situation, you know, happened in the last 10 months. It's going to be 11 months. I mean, after 2 days, it will be 11 months. And considering this situation, many people, you know, they are actually disappointed. They are frustrated by the central government's inactivity, by the state government's inactivity. I mean, these two governments cannot solve this conflict in the last 11 months, almost 11 months now. And seeing this situation, so many people who were actually supporting BJP government, the state government and the central government, they were very disappointed, and many of them actually left. And they complained, and not only them, all those people who were not so close to the BJP party or the BJP central government, you know, they were also complaining against this government. Why this two-engine government cannot solve the problem? So seeing this situation, actually it is very, very difficult for the central BJP party to choose who can give a big impact this coming MP election. So they were trying very hard, and finally they found somebody. But I'm not sure if T.S. Shantikumar is really interested in standing, competing this election, because he may lose. Yes, if the election is conducted without money power, without gun power, without muscle power, without money power, if the election is conducted in a very fair and a clean way, I don't think any BJP candidate can win in this particular election this time. Concerning the situation happening in Manipur for the last 11 months. So the one thing I like to tell about here is whether they could see the defeat, they could see a big defeat against other parties or not. I think this is a very disrespect. The central government as well as state government don't respect the people of Manipur. They don't, why they cannot just announce, somebody to stand up and fight for election without giving much time to debate, to express their opinions, to share out their things, and without giving people to ask to the candidates like what is their policy, what are their policies, what they like to do, and how much they know. There's debate should be done, and the things should be, interviews and debate should be done. But time is too short. We have only 19 or 18 days now, and nothing could be done. We don't know what these political candidates would like to do. We don't know mostly. So this is a very disrespect, and this is very inappropriate, step taken by the central government and by the state and the central government about this election. So I think this election is actually very messy, and the election is going to be conducted at the wrong time and the wrong place. I think I will keep this way first round.
Okay, thank you so much for your points. I think the people of Manipur indeed resonate with the statements that you just put, that the announcement of a candidate's name at the very last minute, and also not providing enough time for the debate and discourse for the people to choose their leaders in a fair manner. Indeed, it is a very messy and in a very rushed manner to announce the candidates, and also the BJP, indeed, even the central leadership and the BJP and the state BJP fears the possibility of a defeat, and hence this could be one of the steps that they have taken in order to prevent that. Or maybe let's see how it plays out. But also regarding the Congress party, now I'll come to Satyajeet, that even in the Manipur Pradesh Congress Committee, the Congress party could not nominate a candidate from within their own ranks. So we see Dr. Bimol Akoijam, it seems to be very popular. He was parachuted in as a candidate from the outside, and it caused a lot of stir within the party. Even the resignation of Sri Hemochandra Singh recently, it also added to the turmoil within the party. So fielding an outsider raises questions about the Congress party's strategy. So do you think that it could harm the morale of the loyal and long-time workers? Do you think this strategy works?
Amrita, thank you for the wonderful discussion. Politics has no beginning, no end. First, I would say this, and the Congress Party is a very old party, started by Alan Octavian Hume in 1885. It worked very hard to get independence from the British Empire, and after that, we have seen a long period of rule by the Congress, then the different prime ministers, then different political parties. Now we have seen almost 10 years of BJP rule. And during this crisis, what we are witnessing is distribution of ticket, as you mentioned. And if you remember, in the last election, BJP was in power in the state. And at that particular time, Congress also, it chose O.W. Kishore. He was a former bureaucrat. He's a former chief secretary of Manipur, a former bureaucrat, former IS officer. He was chosen to be the candidate for inner Manipur parliamentary constituency. It was a tough fight, and this election also, Congress Party has chosen Dr. Akoijam Bimol. everybody was wondering why Congress has decided to choose a person who is not even an active member of Congress. But in this matter, I would say that Congress was looking at the winnable factor, because we have seen that yesterday also, as you rightly mentioned, former Speaker he's a very seasoned politician. He resigned from the Congress, and because they protested, because they wanted a person who was from who came from a political background, who worked as a member of the Congress party, who dedicated their life as in the Congress party. So he resigned. He's a very seasoned politician. He was a very active, a very vocal, very articulate leader, young also, and he served as the Speaker and Minister for a very long time. So I think it would be a loss for Congress party. But as I said, politics has no beginning, no end. And today also, former member of Legislative Assembly, Ilangam Chan of Yai School, and Achoba and various other leaders also, they also joined Congress. So it is a give and take politics. Now that chapter is closed now, because the ticket has been given to a person, whether he was working from Congress or he is not an active member of Congress. It's a different issue now. The main issue now, I think, should be the winnable factor and who will win in the next election, because election is about getting highest number of votes, and the person who gets the highest person gets elected to the inner Manipur Lok Sabha, and the after we have just two. Unfortunately, as we have just two MPs, we hope that we, as Professor has pointed out, we hope that we will have a very peaceful election. But as in this juncture, we can analyze the candidature of Bimol also. Because even though he was not a member of a Congress party, he said his father, he contested as a member of Congress party, but unfortunately he could not win. But so he comes from a Congress background, and he had been actively involved in various political discussion, political discourse in various platforms. But in this crisis, during this, especially after the May 3rd crisis, we have seen that some people, they have come out to fight for Manipur. And Dr. Akoizam Bimol is one such figure who has come out, who has emerged during this crisis. I think he has given the direction during this period. For instance, he has traveled quite far. He has traveled from one corner to another, and he has been very, very vocal to rectify the wrongs in the various national media and state media and in various quarters. Because during the crisis, we witnessed a leveling of wrong history, the distortion of history, and he was one person who fought against all those distortions. I mean, he has a very good contribution in this matter. So that's why I feel that, especially in various social media platforms, regardless of his background, regardless of his political affiliation, regardless of his zero experience as a political person, we have seen that there's a huge support for him, especially coming from the youth, especially coming from the various diaspora within and outside. We have seen, and I will also say that for the other political parties also, because I cannot simply support one individual, one candidate. It is a fair fight for all of them, but I think Bimol is one person who traveled wide, and who I think, and during the crisis also, you must have seen that during that crisis, there was a confusion. When there's chaos in a society, we look for a person who will give direction to the society. During the chaos, where there's turmoil, people get confused. They don't know what to do. I mean, they don't know how to think. They don't know how to react. And I thought at that critical juncture, there were few persons in Manipur who came out and gave a new direction to the people of Manipur. He was one such person. Bimol was one such person. I think it is for that reason, I think, Congress decided to give him the party ticket and took an election. As I said, it should be very fair. Because in the previous Lok Sabha election, I do not remember the exact election. The father of Sri T.S. Basanta, Sri T.S. Chauba, he's a very seasoned politician. He must be the one of the oldest, senior-most politician alive today, very respectable person, and we call him a kingmaker also. During one Lok Sabha election, he had some problem with some organization, and he addressed a press conference. I still remember. He said that all candidates should have the equal opportunities to fight. No one should ban any organization. No one should put any limitation to any political party or candidate. And but 2 days ago, we got a press statement from the Congress party that the Congress candidate Bimojam has been getting threats from some persons. We hope that adequate security is provided to him and to all the 6 candidates in the Inner Manipur constituency and to all the 4 in the outer constituencies, so that we can have a very fair election. And this is democracy, and people have the right to choose the right leader. What we say are just our opinions, and the right to choose the leader, it solely lies with the people. And regarding the Congress party giving of ticket, I would say that the first thing which Mr. Bimol and all the other leaders should do is Congress and the CPI, they have a very strong base in the local populace, because they have been in service for quite a long time, and they have been involved in the freedom struggle. So there are many. They are party-based organizations also, especially left and Congress also. And so I think the first thing which Bimol should do is he should try to win the hearts of all the congressmen who have been working for years, who have dedicated their lives. For example, Hemochandra, and there are so many other Congress workers and left workers. And this election is also slightly different from last year, because in the last election, it was a triangular contest between Congress, BJP, and Communist, Dr. Nara. And Communist, and as I said, Communist and Congress, they have a very good, strong base. And this time, the India bloc, there is 10 political parties, they have all decided to support Congress party also. So in this election, in the last election, the difference was about 20,000 plus between Congress and BJP. And the CPI candidate, Dr. Nara, got more than 1 lakh. A very good number. So if Congress and if CPI combines and all the other political party combines, then they will give a very good fight to the BJP. And the other positive factor of BJP is they have many more MLAs. Because the deciding factor of especially in MP election is, for example, we have 32 constituencies in the Inner Manipur Assembly constituencies. The candidate, he cannot spend 1 day in a constituency because he has time. He has about just 50 to 20 days time to go and meet the voters. So he can only interact with the people through social media, through various other platforms. The huge meetings is banned now. So he has to meet all the people. And in Manipur, as I said, the ruling party, they have the advantage because all the MLAs are from BJP. For example, in Imphal area, mostly BJP is then. And the critical factor is the TDM line. That is from Sagolban, then Kwakatel. Then if you go down a little bit, Nauria Pakang Lakpa, they're all BJP. Then little further, there is Nambol, there is the home constituency of the candidate. Then if you go down Oinam, then Bishenpur is also BJP. Then if you go further also, they are all alliance of BJP also. So if you look at the support of the MLAs, then BJP has a very good fight also. So I think in this election, we'll see a very good fight between 2 or 3 or 6 candidates, and I hope this will be a very good factor. And I think we should not miss out Maheshwar also, because he has also done quite well in this during this election time, and he went and met with several central leaders also to convince them of what they should do about Manipur. And so all have contributed, all the 6 candidates in inner and all the 4 candidates in outer, they have contributed their whatever they can do. And it is for the people to decide who is the best candidate. So I think we will have a very, what we should pray is we should have a very peaceful election. Otherwise, it will give a bad picture of Manipur. And in this critical hour, we should give the message to the world that even in this crisis, we can hold a peaceful election and we elect a good leader. Thank you.
Indeed, a very beautiful message that you have given regarding the fair fight and a challenging fight for the candidates, and also you have provided many interesting figures regarding the numbers of the people, of the voters, especially in the inner parliamentary constituency. And what's interesting is that, Oja Shantikumar, I'd like to come to you, is that as we have known that the two big parties, which is the Congress and the BJP, have fielded a very popular candidates, and then we also have another IPI candidate also who will be giving a very tough fight to both of these big parties. But we also see that there are 3 independent candidates that have filed their nomination. What's interesting is that we do not see any local parties this time, because regarding there is a very popular say among the people, especially in the voters, that they don't want either the BJP nor the Congress, but what about local party. But this time there are 3 independent candidates. One or two, or just one of them could have been chosen a party to represent them. So I'd like to know, like, why is the only surviving local party, which is, I'll name the party, which is the MPP, why they have failed to field a candidate on their own? Oja Shantikumar.
I think the one reason might be they had these internet problems, I think. So I'm not sure if that internet problem has been solved already or not. Then they nominated actor Kaiku or Orchestrated.
Yes.
Then at the last moment, I don't know what happened. He changed to independent, or he couldn't compete from MPP. I'm not sure. But you know, in fact, the trend in Manipur right now is like people are actually, as you mentioned, people are actually, they have less trust towards this central party, big, political central parties like Congress or BJP, because for the last many years, BJP ruling for 10 years almost, and Congress ruled for 15 years. And what happened in those years, people have come across many bad memories and bad experiences. So actually many voters, actually they like to have a regional party, actually local party, where they can trust, where this party don't have to wait for the central party to point their fingers and tell them what to do, what not to do. But unfortunately, why the MPP fell, this might be one of the internet problem. This might be because of the internet problem they have, and I'm not sure if that has been solved or not. And the other reasons why they like to nominate Orchestrated, known as Kaiku, I think they were also looking for some candidates who are, known to people, who are popular to people, who are known to people, and who have some names in public, So I think they were trying to nominate Orchestrated, but at the end, I don't know what happened. He competed as an independent candidate. So I think, but thinking concerning the people's wishes, people's ways, and the people's I think MPP should have nominated their own candidate, but they failed.
Shantikumar, would you say this is regarding their internal problems? Could be many. So do you think it could be funds or ideology? What do you think it could be?
You mean the conflict, the internal conflict in MPP?
Yeah, the problem that's plaguing the MPP.
Yeah, it could be ideology problem. We have the culture of this ani talk me and home talk me, so I think the same thing happens in politics. So I think that might be one reason why they had this internal conflict, and because of that, they couldn't be united. All those MPP, couldn't unite and stood strongly. If they could, unite and stood strongly, as one, they could have produced, they could have nominated their own candidates. But I think they failed. But I wish in the next election as well, in the assembly election as well as in the MP election, I hope they can nominate their own candidates.
Indeed, because there is a very popular saying that everybody in Manipur there who says that our own interests should be decided by our own people who has come from the same ideology as our own soil. So that remains to be, it seems to be absent during this MP election, but we shall see how it plays out in the upcoming elections. Now, moving on to Oja Satyajeet. The main issue regarding this Lok Sabha election in Manipur, it remains very unclear. All parties and candidates advocate to save Manipur. But save Manipur from what? Because saving Manipur, they proclaim the word save Manipur, but they fail to specify what exactly needs saving. So will this rhetoric of save Manipur dominate the election discourse at such a juncture? What issues are being silenced, are being neglected? Oja Satyajeet, if you're here with us, okay.
Oh, yes. Yes. Amrita, I would say that if we want to save Manipur, the first thing which we should do is we should try to know what exactly is Manipur. Its historical legacy, its literary works, its religion, and its people. They are all interlinked. Its culture, society, land, everything is interlinked. So when we try to save Manipur, when we say save Manipur, the first thing is to understand what exactly is Manipur. Manipur is a multi-ethnic society. Manipur it was an Asiatic kingdom which flourished for a very, very long time, and it has given the longest reigning kingdom, for example, the Ningthongsa dynasty from 33 AD till the date of Buddha Chandra, that's around in 1954-55. I have forgotten the exact date. So for 2,000 years, continuous kingdom, except subtle interregnum during the 7 years devastation and during some crisis. So the first thing is to understand what exactly is Manipur. And the second issue is Save Manipur is, when we say Save Manipur, we should come to the present contemporary Manipur. When we discuss Manipur, the present moment is extremely important, because when we discuss Manipur in different phases, all phases are different. The present phase is now after 1949, after we became part of India. We have integrated into the Indian Constitution after 1949. We have become part of India, and this is a time when people have to evolve themselves into a new political dimension, to a new political reality, to a new social structure. And over this, through the ages, till 1972, I think people were living in a very peaceful manner. There was no insurgency. Everything was peaceful. But in the 1980s and 90s, we saw insurgency rising. And so this all points to a certain issue that people of Manipur are not happy with themselves, with the political system, and with the reality which they are seeing. For example, the imposition of Armed Forces Special Powers Act, then the long neglect from the center due to the distance from New Delhi, the poor connectivity, everything is poor. And the recent crisis has opened a new dimension, because, for instance, we have seen that for a very, very long time, people of Manipur, they have been witnessing the Naga unification movement. And so people were protesting that against Naga unification, and people were saying that territorial integrity of Manipur should never be disturbed. So in all the election manifesto of all political parties, the first issue which they say is the territorial and emotional integrity of Manipur should be protected. That is the first issue. I think to save Manipur, the first issue that people raise should be to protect the emotional, not only the territorial integrity, but the emotional integrity of the people of Manipur also. And now when we go through this phase of saving Manipur, everybody is in a fighting mood now, because since due to the attack from a particular community on the Meiteis and some other communities, we have seen that we have started a system of ban culture, that everything has been banned. You should not do that, you should not do that. And I would say that this is not good, because human beings are supposed to do lots of things. They are supposed to evolve, they are supposed to do certain activities so that there will be overall progress. And we should take the example of Afghanistan. For instance, in Afghanistan, they have been fighting a war for a very long time with Russia, then the US. Now, as they have been fighting for a very long time, there is no education, and then now the people, they have become the religious the Taliban. They have imposed, they have banned everything, education of women. There are no engineers, no doctors, nothing is there except landless people now. So even during the 7 years Iran-Iraq war, there were no doctors in the two countries to give death certificates and to even operate the people also. So I think in this critical juncture, the people of Manipur should understand that they should stop the ban culture. They should allow other activities to. They should not stop everything. I mean, they can stop the accesses of entertainment, but the ban culture is extremely bad. And for example, we have seen just one year of conflict. We do not know how long this will last because and the Kuki party conflict, it lasted for 3-4 years, and so we don't know how long will this fight continues. So I think the appeal which we can make to the people of Manipur is they should stop the ban culture. They should allow people to do their activities. Otherwise, we will have no future. There will be no doctors, no engineers. There will be no literary activities. We will not have history. We will not have proper education also. So I think that is why I am emphasizing that the ban culture should be stopped. And in Indian democracy also, when Manipur became part of India, we have to understand that Uttar Pradesh has about 80 MPs, Rajasthan has 25 MPs, then Bengal, then Maharashtra, the whole, and 50, 60 MPs. Manipur has just 2 MPs. So when we choose our 2 MPs, we have to be very selective also. And we have to be very selective, and the people should understand also that when we send 2 MPs, when we elect 2 MPs, they have to be very articulated. They have to be politically aware of what is happening in the entire world. Because, for example, when there are 80 MPs from Uttar Pradesh, if, for example, if 5 or 10 MPs, they don't speak, nothing matters. But if our 2 MPs don't speak, then we lose everything. And when we say ban also, here comes politics also. When we do not have leaders, the society will be in chaos. When we do not have chief minister, when we do not have kings, the society will be in chaos. For example, even it's true even in our household also, when there is no leader of the family, or one who takes the decision, whether father or mother, whether father or mother, they have to take the decision. So there has to be a system where we choose our leaders. So we should not stop the election. We should not ban everything because we are choosing 2 very important persons who will be voicing our concerns, who will be voicing our deficiencies in New Delhi. As I said, I will repeat again, we cannot send someone who will go there and sit. We have to send somebody who will speak, who will lobby, and who will write to all the ministers to do what is right and what is wrong. And in this particular juncture, as coming to the issue of Save Manipur also, basically there are about 3-4 communities, the Meiteis, the Muslims, the Meitei Pangans, or the Kuki, Naga, and so many other ethnic minorities. And in this critical juncture, what we feel is that there is a tussle between all of us. That there is the feeling that that the people, the indigenous people, they have been sidelined. For instance, we are all indigenous people. We have been living here for thousands of years. Our ancestors have been going to Kogru. Our ancestors have been going to Tangjing. Our ancestors have been going to pray at Nompok, Larabit, and everywhere. Panthoibi, Nompok, Ningtau, everywhere. Wangbrain. But now we cannot do that. That is basically because of the land laws which need to be changed. So I think our leaders, rather than banning the leaders, we should convince the leaders, and we should speak with the leaders, and we should speak to them that they should go to New Delhi, and they need to amend the laws so that there will be level playing field for all the people. There is no level playing field for all the people because in this crisis, we have seen that indigenous people have been silent, and the majority community who have been living in, for instance, Meitei and Tamils and Tangkuls, they were the majority in More for a long time. And after 2014, especially after 1991 Kuki Naga conflict, the Nagas they left More, and slowly Kukis became the majority community in More. But so it is the land grabbing is actually done by the particular community, but the leveling of land grabbing is given to the Meiteis. This is basically because the Kukis and some other tribals, they are protected by the constitution because they come under a special category under which they get constitutional seal. So that's why the Meiteis feel that they do not have level playing fields. So the Meiteis, the Meitei Pangals, the Kukis, Nagas, they should all come together, and they should agree that they should have some level playing fields. Otherwise, there will be no peace in Manipur. I think this is why what I say is that to save Manipur, we should know what exactly is ailing Manipur, because what doctors do, before giving medicines, doctor do the diagnosis. So to save Manipur, people of Manipur should know what exactly is Manipur. Thank you.
Indeed, Satyajeet, you have brought up a very important point, and I think that needs to be repeated until the day that we cast the vote, because we cannot be lax about who we choose as our leaders, as our representatives, because in order to save Manipur, we need lawmakers that have the best interests of Manipur, of the Manipur people. And for that, our votes should matter, our presence, our voices need to be heard in the parliament. And for that, we cannot choose a leader who will just sit duck and with their hands tied. And indeed, our votes should matter. Just the two MPs should make our voices heard in the parliament. Indeed, a very strong comment. Thank you for that, Oja Satyajeet. Now, to Oja Shantikumar, that recently on the 5th of March, the state BJP initiated their election campaign. They announced various election committees. During the speech, the Honorable Chief Minister, he praised our Prime Minister Modi ji and his government and the successful construction of the Ram Mandir and also the abrogation of Article 370. However, these two very big issues that are very relevant in the Hindi belt, they seem to be of little importance when it comes to Manipur because of the situation that we are thrown in currently. So the relevance of such issues is very questionable in Manipur, and why did our Honorable Chief Minister speak regarding this? Because does the BJP have no other issues to speak regarding Manipur? Are they out of issues? Are they out of agenda? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, concerning the situation we have right now, I think that question doesn't, it's not relevant with the situation in Manipur right now. I don't know why our Honorable CM was proudly talking about this building Ram Mandir and the application of 370 article. Or are they planning? Is PM Modi planning to build a Ram Mandir in Manipur? Or are they trying to, divide Manipur into 3 union territories for Nagas, Kukis, and for Meiteis? I'm not sure about that. If that is the case, might be some relevant, but I don't think any relevant with PM Modi's statement. Instead of saying about this proudly, our CM should have talked about the present crisis, present situation in Manipur. Instead of that, we have lost 200 people, more than 200 people, and 60,000 displaced, and thousands of houses and properties, destroyed, burned down to ashes. Instead of focusing on such things, I don't know why our CM was talking about Ram Mandir and the Article 370 very proudly. So here, so I don't like to talk much about this because this is very irrelevant with the situation in Manipur. But right now, I like to add some points to Satyajeet comments about he just mentioned about also Amrita just mentioned about what kind of people, what kind of MP candidate we should elect. We should select and elect for MP. I think here, this MP elections and the local elections is different because these 2 candidates are going out. They are not going to stay in Manipur. They are not going to work in Manipur. They are going out of Manipur, especially in the center are going to open their mouth, they are going to listen, they are going to analyze, they are going to talk out, they are going to voice and articulate in the parliament. So what kind of people we should select, we should elect? These people have to know. People of Manipur should know. I think one of the most important quality or character or characteristics or factor or points is to be able to express either in Hindi or in English, besides Manipuri, of course, because Hindi or English is very important. One of them, at least, if two these languages are mastered, then that is very good. That's the best. But at least he should be able to communicate, to pronounce, to articulate in Hindi or English. This is number one. Otherwise, they cannot express anything. Without language, what can you do? We cannot just use body language and talk there in the parliament. When you get 2 minutes or 3 minutes, our MPs were not given any time to speak, about this crisis. But so if you are quiet, you don't know how to express, you don't have the language ability, this is impossible to express anything. And the second point is he has to have the guts. He has to have the gut to stand in front of those 500 people more, MPs in front of that he should be able to stand up boldly and bravely and express and articulate what he knows, what he wants to say. And this is very important. If he doesn't have, if he has the language ability, but he doesn't, he's afraid of expressing, he's not able to talk out, then again, no meaning. So, second point, he should have the guts to stand boldly on his 2 feet and say whatever he wants to say out for the people of Manipur, for Manipur and for the people of Manipur. And the third point is, I think it is also very important to you cannot love a land, the people of that land, without knowing some history, without knowing the history of that land. So what I like to say is he should know the history of Manipur, at least basic history of Manipur, and then he should also know the facts and the scenarios and so the contemporary, socio-geopolitical situation. He should know that, and if possible, he should also know a little bit about something about the neighboring countries, what is happening around Manipur. For example, right now we have conflict, and this conflict, the internet conflicts in Manipur, is very much influenced by what happens in Myanmar. So our MP should also know a little bit something about this, what is happening around Manipur and outside Manipur, and he should know this. And the next point is not only knowing, not only able to speak about, and not only have the guts to talk about, I think he should also love Manipur truly, not pretending for his political power, but truly love Manipur and truly love the people of Manipur. Then he will have more power. He can stand on his feet and talk. But the problem with the past MPs, I think many of them don't have this true love for Manipur and for the people of Manipur. That's why they couldn't speak, and they didn't have the power, and they couldn't do anything. I think Manipur MPs is in the very low regarding their expression. They are one of the few who express the least in the parliament, so far I know. And the other one is someone who knows, I think our MP should also know not only about these things, but he should also know about the constitutions of India, and also some basic laws. And if he knows these things, if he has this character, then he could be the right MP we can choose. And now, so we have to look for these abilities, for this characteristics, for this point, like for language ability, and someone who can stand up boldly, bravely, and someone who knows the history of Manipur, socio-geopolitical situation, the contemporary situation, the scenario, and also someone who truly loves Manipur, who truly love the people of Manipur, and someone who also knows a little bit about the neighboring countries, for example, like Myanmar, what is happening there. Because when they like to talk to the parliament, when such things happen, they have to know the reality, the situation, the conflict happening, and because this is also influencing Manipur conflict, so also should know these things. And then the other one is, of course, knowing the Indian constitution, and this is very important, and also some basic laws. Otherwise, they cannot express anything. So I think I will keep this way. So I think about the PM Modi's statement and CM's talking about very proud and happily. I think that is very irrelevant unless they like to build a Ram Mandir in Manipur and Hindunize all the people here, Christian and the Meiteis and the Bangals, everybody, they like to Hindunize, unless they like to, divide Manipur into 3 union territories.
Or maybe the state BJP has run out of things to speak and promise to the people of Manipur, because the way they have handled this past crisis, we can all say it has not been satisfactory. So maybe there is nothing good to say about the present government, and so he has to quote someone else's words and put it into his. That's what
exactly.
That's what I like to put it forward.
That could be one reason. That could be one reason why they like to talk about this and that, very irrelevant things. Time to time they talk about irrelevant things because maybe they are exhausted to talk. They have nothing to talk proudly.
Indeed. So and also you mentioned a very good point regarding regarding a very self-aware and vibrant politician that we need to elect, as in line with what Oja Satyajeet has said, that the people do have to be aware of what kind of leader we send to the parliament, into New Delhi as our representative. Now moving on, I'd like to come to Oja Satyajeet, that Prime Minister Modi's 11-month silence has caused a lot of resentment in the valley. It is likely that the main issue of the current election will revolve around those who are for Modi and those who are against Modi. So it will be like 2 blocks that the people will be polarized as. Do you think the voters will give a reply to the Prime Minister's silence in this election? And how do you think the people will give this reply? And what is your advice to the voters on how to vote effectively? As you have said earlier, a lot of very good and beautiful points, so I would like you to continue on that, and also please answer to this question.
Yes, Amrita, I can be silent. Many of us can be silent, but the problem is the head of the family, the one who in charge, he or she cannot be silent. And Manipur has seen an unprecedented crisis. More than 200 people died, more than 60,000 people displaced. People within the same family fighting for more than 11 months. And in this critical juncture, the head of the state, the top executive of this country, the most responsible person, the Prime Minister, has chosen to be silent. The other issue is one can be silent, but if he had acted properly and if actions had been done, then we could have seen this also. So history will be the best judge of what exactly the government has done, and history will be the best judge of what wrong have been done by this. But in this election, the incumbency factor will be extremely important, and the incumbency factor will be extremely important because in the state BJP is ruling, in the center BJP is ruling, and I think he has done a very he has given a bad legacy to the people also, especially to the state leaders also. They will have a very hard time. State BJP leaders will have a very hard time explaining to the people why their leaders, they haven't come. The Union Home Minister was here for a specific period, and he promised to come back, but he didn't come. So people will be asking why he gave false promises. So those are the main issue. And I think history will be the best judge, and people will decide. And in this critical juncture, what people of Manipur should do, as you asked, in this issue, I think how they will choose the leaders. We have 6 now in the inner and 4 in the outer. Since they will not have time to have mass meetings, mass discussions, now the only means is to have open debates, which we have seen in many developed countries. We see all the candidates coming up, and then the journalists and the mass throwing them questions, and they giving their opinions. And we can ask all the candidates to give their opinions about the ST status, whether Meitei should be given ST status, whether sixth schedule can be extended to the hill areas, and etc. etc. And in this issue also, they should give their vision to the people also. They should give what their aims are, what their agenda are, and during the debates, people will be able to know what their agenda are, what their visions are. And the next is promises is not everything, and the best thing is how they will fulfill their promises, how they will. For example, in every election, all the political parties issue election manifesto, but we do not know how they do it. So, how the candidates, after they win, how they will translate their promises into action. Those also they have to give to the people. So, I think debate will be the best platform where people will know the best to whom they will vote. And in this critical juncture, I think we should at least allow the candidates to speak their mind, to give their vision, to set their agenda, and tell the people what they will do after they get elected also. And they have to give them their political vision, their financial vision also, because they have been allotted rupees 5 crores every year. MP, local area development funds, it was just 5 lakh per year, but now it has increased to rupees 5 crores. 5 crores is a very huge money. And most of the, and we do not know how our MPs use the 5 crores every year. 5 into 5 is 25 crores. And they can do a lot of good things with 25 crores if they want. And if so I think financially, they should promise to the people that they will use the 25 crores properly. And they can assure the people that they can the money which they send is accountable, and it can be assessed by the people also. And those issues should be discussed. And in this critical juncture also, what our leaders should, especially as you mentioned about the silence of the Prime Minister also, that the central leaders, they should not take the people of Manipur for granted. Nowadays, people know what is going on. People know what is the political reality, what is the geopolitics, what are the external factors, what are the internal factors. People are not illiterate, people are educated also. We have links in all over the world. We all know how a democracy functions. We all know how leaders act. We have seen very, very young leaders, especially in Europe also. We have seen that most of the prime ministers, most of the leaders, they are in the age group of 30 to 45. This is very young, and most of the leaders are very young, in 30, 40. And nowadays, what people of Manipur have read is, for instance, during the last 3-4 years, there have been some very interesting developments in Peru. There was a news report that the president had some very costly watches. And the police in Peru, they went and searched the residence of the president of Peru. So that is how democracy works. And in this juncture also, people of India, people of Manipur want the democracy to function in such a way that they can take the leaders into task. They can question them. But in this scenario, during the last few years, we have seen that the leaders are inaccessible. They do not give press conferences. The Prime Minister of India, I think Narendra Modi is the first Prime Minister of India who has not given any press conferences. I myself have attended the press conference of almost most of the Prime Ministers, except Narendra Modi, his predecessor Manmohan Singh. I have interviewed him several times. Then his predecessor Gujral, then P.V. Narasimha Rao, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. I had the opportunity to meet them and interact also. But unfortunately, the journalists, we had no opportunity to question the prime ministers. When the leaders of the house, when leaders of the people, when they are not accountable, when they are not ready to give answers, I think this is the perfect time people give the best reply to the leaders. We cannot say in this platform to whom they should choose, but what we can say is that they should vote for the right people. And in this juncture also, I would like to mention a very important aspect is that if people do not vote, especially what happens especially in Manipur in certain areas is there are lots of rooms for vote capturing also. For
Yes.
example, if I do not vote, somebody else will go there and vote in my name. So I think the best way is to vote themselves, and they should not allow other people to vote for them also. And for instance, we have heard that, for example, in More, in some area of Chandel, people they were not able to vote for a very very long time because the militants, especially the Kuki militants, they have voted, and even in some hill areas of Manipur also, all the villages they vote in the name of their all their people also. I think such uh, action is not good. I think in this in this election, we should not allow such system so that we can have the perfect candidate. And I hope we have a very peaceful election this time.
Indeed, a very good message to the voters, as you just said, Satyajeet. And you also mentioned regarding this debate, since we will be going to the polls on the 19th of April for the inner parliament, and then we have on the 26th there is outer. So there is hardly 2 weeks for the candidates to campaign, and also for the people to voice because the people have a lot of questions, and they need to be heard, at least in that state of mind of the people that we are voting for, at least have some answers and some resolutions. So instead of discussing or debating or in such manner, until recently in social media there has been a flood of messages with mudslinging, with name calling, rather than constructive debates regarding real issues such as the law and order, the current crisis, the way that people have been homeless, and so many other issues that will be coming up once the election is over. That not only the crisis is just although this is the most important one, because big names like Maheshwar and even Dr. Bimo, they have become targets of mudslinging, name calling, especially on social media, while the BJP candidate has faced comparatively very less criticism. One can wonder if there is someone orchestrating to create such kind of mudslinging on social media, name calling, because do they want the favors to tilt in the favor of the BJP candidate? Because since we don't have much time for campaigns and to ask questions to the candidates, what do you think, Oja Shantikumar, if you're here with us?
I think it could be orchestrated by some party, especially the ruling party. I can tell you one example. In Taiwan, we had recently presidential election. Let me tell you here. But among these 6 candidates, one of them or 2 of them could be, asked by some people to stand as a candidate. But he or she, these candidates could be influenced by, somebody who goes along very well with the ruling party. One reason this is happening in Taiwan. I don't know exactly, but it could have happened. Like asking so that the voters could be divided to different people. Actually, so one presidential candidate was, he was with the opposition party, and he agreed to go along well, at the till the end of the election. But suddenly he changed his mind, and he liked to be the presidential candidate himself. So they broke up. And what happened? The ruling party won election only by 29%. So what about those 71%? 71%, some didn't vote, but they were divided into 2 factions. All those factions, voters were divided, so they just lost the election. Otherwise the opposition parties should have won the election and should be ruled by them now. But these things can happen. This orchestration, could be the technique or strategy for the ruling party. They might have done that. They could have done that also. By sending out some, internet armies. We say internet armies in Taiwan.
Yes.
These internet armies could be used, and they can spread this wrong message. And I saw this Professor Bimol is he married an Indian and a non-Manipuri, and why he has to be, we should elect him as the MP of Manipur. Something like that. All this wrong propaganda were spreading about him, and so this could be orchestrated, because this could be one of the technique they like. And even those candidates I just mentioned out of this, except Professor Bimo, because he's in opposition party Congress, so he's very clear. But the other party, I'm not sure if they were, some of them were asked by the ruling party, to stand up as a candidate so that they can distract voters, and some voters might go to that. Actually, looking from this angle, it is very unfair, because the ruling party BJP candidates, they will have their own people already. But what about these 5 candidates? They will divide all those remaining voters. They will be divided into different voters, and surely this will lead them to, lead to failure. So, but the most I worry is about fair election, fair and a clean election. If fair and a clean election, then it doesn't matter who wins. It's okay. Let people vote freely and fairly, and let them choose the one who they think is the right candidate. But for this, as Oza Satyajeet just mentioned about the open debate, yes, this is very much important, because in Taiwan also, we always do this here in Taiwan, and I myself vote many times already for the last 23 years. And so this open debate, this culture should be brought into, we don't have much time, but still, Impact TV or Elite TV or ISTV TV, one of these TV channels can organize this open debate session somewhere, someplace, where all the 6 candidates can come together and let them give their opinions, let them give what visions they have, and what are they going to do in the future if they win the election, and why they stand as the MP, like why they like to to stand as a campaign in the election. There are so many questions they can express, they can tell out, and also the audience can also ask questions. So if they answer well, if their answers are well and reasonable, okay, then let the people choose. At least, and this debate should be released in the TV channels for a few days, or maybe a week, or maybe even 2 weeks, so that people can hear again and again, so that they can choose the right candidate. And this is very important. Yeah, but I'm not sure if any TV channel or TV stations are willing to do that. But I think this is very, very important. Yes, it should be done, and then only we will know why the candidates like to contest in the election, and what they can do in Delhi, in the center, and what they cannot do. We will know. People will know. So this is very important. But now we haven't done yet. And no discussion, no interview, nothing except some personal interview. So people actually don't know. And the other one is there should be some counter attack or discussion or opinion expressed among the candidates, so that they can cut down the points, they can add, they can cut down, they can say yes, they can say no. So this kind of interview should be given in the open session. Then I think people can choose the right candidate.
Indeed,
and the other one,
yeah, sure.
I wish there will be fair and clean election.
Indeed, because otherwise most of the people, they are influenced by many other things to vote for, because they will ask somebody else, like, who do we vote for? And most of the times they do not have a clue what the candidate has promised, what the candidate has lists of agenda that they want to fulfill. So there's this kind of gap needs to be addressed, and indeed a very good feedback that you have given. Now moving on to our last question, since our time is almost up, I'll end with this question with Oja and Satyajeet regarding that among the Kuki communities, there are very conflicting statements that are emerging. While one group claims that they will boycott the election and they will not nominate any candidate, but their MLAs and their Sioux leaders, they assert that they will support the NPF candidate. So this confusion is also present within the supposedly very united Kukis. And it begs the question, what is causing this internal discord, and how do you think will the Kuki votes play out in this election?
I think most of the Kuki MLAs, they are from the ruling parties, that is the BJP. And BJP has decided to support NPF, the Naga People's Front, in the outer Manipur parliamentary constituency. And Kuki, they have a huge chunk of vote in the inner Manipur parliamentary constituency, and also I don't know to whom they will vote. But I think since they have got a directive from their MLAs, from their leadership to vote for NPF, I think most of them will vote for they will go for the NPF, I think, because if they go on party lines. But we have to remember also that Kuki is not one group, one similar group, one ethnic group. They have so many languages, they have so many dialects, they have political aspirations. Within the Kuki family, there are so many families. They are not one single entity also. And in this juncture also, we have to also understand that all the Kukis, they do not want to fight also. There are certain groups also who wants to divide Manipur, who wants to do evil things. Those are in minorities, and we have to understand that there are also lots of people who understand the real scenario, also who understand what exactly is Manipur, who knows that Manipur can't be bifurcated. And in this juncture, also, I would like to appeal to all those who are in who are demanding something separate, also that when we are unhappy, we cannot demand that the earth be divided into 2-3 parts. Our earth cannot be divided. Our solar system can't be divided. We have only one sun, and if just Shantikumar feel that the sun is not giving adequate sunlight to Taiwan, so there should be a separate sun for Taiwan. And if I demand that there should be a separate sun for Manipur, that is not possible. So it's the geopolitics, the socially political viability, economic viability. If we consider all those aspects, Manipur is indivisible. Manipur can't be bifurcated, and most of the Kukis understand it. And Manipur has given them Mother Manipur has given them food. Mother Manipur has given them land. Mother Manipur has given them everything, and we have lived with them. We grew up together, and I think we all should come together and stop the evil forces that are coming from outside. And the evil forces are, which we have discussed in 7 phases, are the poppy plantation, the drugs, the illegal immigrants. Whatever they deny, the whole world knows what exactly is going on. We have to stop it. If we don't stop it, then the crisis will remain. So those who are indigenous people who have been living together for so many generations, we have to live together. And in this election, I think, as you asked about their current decision also, I think if they go on party lines, most of them, I think they will vote for NPF in outer and ruling in Manipur. So please don't forget that there are large number of Kuki voters in Inner Manipur also, because there are more than, even in my own constituency, there is Uripog, in Langol area, in ward number 5, they are in majority. Ward number 5, it is now an ST reserve area now, because in Langol area the population has increased tremendously. So ward number 5 in Uripog constituency, there is Langol Nafel area. It has become a reserve area for ST also. So they have a huge chunk of voters in the urban area also, in Inner Manipur also. So I think if they go on party lines, they will go for BJP. But as I mentioned earlier also, it is a divided family. We do not know whom they will vote. Now it is, Amrita, the interesting phase is, we are living in such a situation that we do not know whom our father will be voting for, to whom my mother will be voting for, to whom my sister will be voting for. I mean, we are living in a different dimension now. We are living in a different world now, where we are accessible to everything, I think. So I think we cannot presume also that the entire Kuki community, they will be voting for a particular candidate also. That is also not expected. So I think justice should be done to them. Justice should be done to all the candidates, and there should be all the people. They should decide not on party basis, not on power politics, not on money, but on the agenda, as Shantikumar said, as we have been discussing, on the discussion, on the points there is, on the agenda they said, and on the promises they give, and on the actions they take up after the elections. Those issues we should look forward, and we hope. And I will say again that we should pray for a peaceful election.
Indeed, a very good point. On that note, I would like to summarize today's discussion or today's debate on the topic, the low-key election. Our panelists have put forward that this fight, this upcoming election will be very challenging if given a very fair fight, and that the people of Manipur, the voters, need to elect someone who has the voice, who has the guts to make our presence felt in the parliament, to make our concerns heard in the parliament, so that the concerns of Manipur, the aspirations of Manipur can be discussed in the parliament, so that it benefits us all. On that note, this coming Lok Sabha election is one of the best opportunity to convey to the central government that either we approve or we disapprove of their attitude and handling of the big elephant in the room, that is the current crisis, and that the message should be loud and clear as voters of Manipur. On that note, I'd like to conclude today's session. I want to thank Oja and Shantikumar, Oja and Satyajeet for being with us today. I'd also like to thank our viewers for tuning in tonight. Please leave your comments and feedback with us. We will be back again with more exciting topics next Monday. This is Amrita signing off. Have a good week.